Hello, my name is Keith Lee, and I will be presenting on perspectives interventions on used lead acid batteries recycling. So what is used lead acid battery? Lead acid batteries consist lead, acid, and plastics, and they are mainly used in almost any motor vehicles, power plants, and backup power supplies. 86% of the total lead consumption is used for production of lead acid batteries. In most lower middle income countries, recycling lead is a very common and valuable job for low socioeconomic people. The problem is that they are processed informally without regulations and protective gear. As a result, these people are more likely to be exposed to lead and certainly are endangering their health. Another major problem is that the workplace is also accompanied by children using it as their playground. Then what are the health risks associated with lead? The toxic effects of lead is very dangerous. Extreme lead exposure can develop acute lead poisoning, and those signs and symptoms are very variable in both adults and children. Gastrointestinal effects include weight loss, constipation, abdominal pain, nausea, diarrhea, and vomiting. Hematologic effects include damaging production of blood cells, which leads to anemia. Neurological effects include encephalopathy, which is disruption of brain function. It is a life-threatening condition, and children can be left with mental retardation and seizure disorders. It also affects reproductive system by reducing the sperm motility and sperm counts. Lead exposure can also affect cardiovascular system. It increases the risk of hypertension in adults and pregnant women. So I have interviewed 3 of my close colleagues. This is the process of how I conducted the interview. After asking them about lead acid battery and lead poisoning, I informed the environmental and health crisis at Agbogbloshie. Then I showed Pure Earth video. Finally, I asked what can be done to prevent further environmental and health crisis in those low to middle income countries. First professional is Jeffrey Lee, who works as investment banking associate at Evercore. He said, education is important and raising awareness is important. The fundamental problem is that a lot of these people are practicing this as means to preserving one's economic sustainability. Thus, private and public sectors should partnership and make a reward program to people who can work or get involved in formal recycling. He really emphasized on his last words. It's all about aligning incentives, saying that no matter how often we tell them and emphasize the danger of it, people won't listen until there is money involved. And I quite agree with this statement. So for our second professional, BK Chun is one of my friends who just finished his Juris Doctor program at George Washington University. He said implement a structure in which private companies take on the role of recycling batteries. Then, those companies shall hire the families whose lives are dependent of informal recycling and provide financial sustainability. Our third professional, Serene Park, Korean English interpreter who studied international relations, said the government and international organization such as United Nations shall raise a fund and build proper factories around those neighborhoods. The factories should provide protective gears to prevent lead exposure, and the job will also provide the needed sustenance for those people. Finally, through proper recycling process, the natural environment and the neighborhood and people's health will slowly improve. Now, let's assess these approaches. First and second professional suggested that private companies should involve and promote the program. But who will take the charge? It will require a lot more time and money to promote their awareness and provide education to low middle income country people. Private companies won't easily step up for such a complicated task which requires a large fund. So these are my thoughts on possible interventions. In short term, the government should be responsible to use its own funds and provide protective gears to those workers and give education on risk of informal use lead acid battery recycling. The government is responsible for health of its own people. In the long term, the government and international organizations should raise funds to build properly equipped factories and official workplaces for those who make a living in informal use lead acid battery recycling. Of course, this will take time and money, but if we don't start now, when will ever start and get better? So what did I learn? It seems many people are aware of environmental and health issues in low middle income countries, but not specifically why and how bad they are. Public health professionals and environmental scientists should put more effort to raise awareness of these problems. All my three professionals seem to agree that the government or national institution should be responsible and control the issue. To be honest, I personally thought lead poisoning is no longer a big issue in modern society, but clearly I was wrong. I truly believe that it is our own responsibility to protect the nature and health of our own. Ultimately, we mess with the nature, we pay the price. So these are the references I use. Thank you for watching.